You know guys, before I start today's video, I just want to give you a little bit of a background as to what's going to go on in this video. The first thing you'll notice is this video is extremely fat for the standard of my channel, alright? Like my videos usually range around like 10-12 minutes maybe. Anything past that is pretty rare, so I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it might be one of my longer videos for sure. And the reason is because I actually have a lot on my mind about the state of Call of Duty. And I know that's a very typical subject for COD nowadays, but I think we're getting to the point where it's more realistic talk. Alright, like I'm not going to be doing too much of this whole Scatmaster ranting type of thing that I typically do. And so if you're a fan of this type of content, let me know down in the comments below, alright? Let's leave a like on today's video because this is probably going to take me a long ass time to edit, and there is quite a lot of things I need to get off my chest about the state of the entire franchise of Call of Duty. And so if you're interested at all, you know, stay till the end of the video. I'm sure there's a lot of things you'll probably agree with, or maybe something that you didn't even think about initially, because there is one certain thing about this game that I wanted to talk about, but we'll get into that later. The next thing is the background gameplay is actually really important, and it has a lot to do with my feelings towards Call of Duty right now. Now, you guys know this happens very often for me on the channel where I'll play the first couple of weeks, maybe couple of months of the title, and then we get past the honeymoon phase, we get past the point of like season 1, and then nobody cares about the game anymore. And I do this thing very often where I'll just stop playing the game for like 3 to 5, maybe even like 6 weeks at a time, and I'll just stock up on gameplays, and that's the form of content that you guys will receive. Well, the background gameplay that you're watching right now is ranked play, and I'm gonna be very honest about this. Ranked play, for sure, is my favorite thing about Call of Duty nowadays. For like the last 4 years maybe, everything about pubs is just not fun to me whatsoever. And it's not the fact that there's a lot of things that are banned, it's more or less the fact that the game doesn't feel rewarding whatsoever when you play public matches. Like, they took away regular prestiging and then replaced it with various different systems of the prestige system that we used to have that are just so less interesting. Like, they're not fun at all, they're not captivating, nobody's grinding to reach max prestige, and if you are, like, once you hit it, who cares? You know, like, it doesn't show any type of competitiveness in there. It's not difficult to do, it's just extremely time consuming, and that's the worst part, is that you're putting in more and more hours into the game, but you don't have a sense of fulfillment as you do this. Whereas in ranked play, yeah, I can start out at bronze, and I don't even know what rank you're watching in here, but you start off at a very low level and you climb to the very top, and that is exactly what I like to do, because as you guys know here on the channel, I talk a lot of shit. The same thing goes in game, alright? In game chat, in person, in real life, I talk a lot of shit. I'm a commentator, right? Like, I make YouTube videos. I don't really spend my time hardcore gaming on Call of Duty. So if you lose to me, you're dog shit. Like, that's the truth. You cannot lose to a commentator in his mid-20s and think you're good. I'm sorry, that's just not how it goes, and that's why I talk so much shit to like reverse boosters and cheaters, hackers, etc, because if you're being outclassed by me, you literally suck. And so yes, over the last few years, ranked play has been my most favorite thing about Call of Duty. But the thing is, for the last 2 years, there's been like nothing innovative about it, and on top of that, there's bugs, there's cheaters, there's hackers. And so my one area that I do enjoy about Call of Duty is being severely tainted by the nonsense that the devs just allow in their game. How is it not ready by launch when you have multiple years, quote unquote, to work on it? And secondly, whenever you do release it a month, 2 months later, there's still issues. It just doesn't make sense. So my only escape from the dog shit of Call of Duty for like the last 5 years, even that is still tainted severely. That doesn't mean I'm not having fun, it just means I'm not having as much fun as I possibly could, and that's extremely important because the next thing I'm about to tell you guys is that, especially over the last 2-3 years, my interest for Call of Duty has just gone down the drain. And that's for various reasons, right? Like, just the state of Call of Duty public matches, skill-based matchmaking, you guys know the entire story. My entire channel is pretty much just a catalog of all the unnecessary bullshit moments that Call of Duty has put the community through for the last 5 years. The channel's been going on for a little bit over 4 years at this point, but if I'm having so many people agree with what I have to say, it's not just somebody bitching and complaining. There's people that agree, there's people who have the exact same experiences, there's people who have worse experiences than I do. I've never been falsely banned for anything. My ping is dog shit because of SBMM, but admittedly, I'm not in like the hundreds to 200s often. So there's people who have a worse experience than me, and it's really hard to gravitate our attention once you've lost it so many times. Not only that, but guys, just on a personal level, I've mentioned this before, I'm a full-time student, I have a full-time job, I live in my own apartment, I pay my own bills, I have a lot of real life shit to do and take care of, and to be completely honest, at the end of the day, I don't really want to hop on Call of Duty. Like, just to give you guys a quick schedule background for me, I have classes that start at 8 a.m. Alright, I'm taking winter classes before the spring semester starts. I have back-to-back 3-hour lectures. So 6 hours total until 2 p.m. I have an online class that I also need to take care of, and then after that, I go to work. I get home around 9:30, I'm fucking hungry, I gotta work out, do something, have some actual leisure time like watch television or fucking go out, hang out with friends and shit. And by the end of it, am I really motivated to play Call of Duty? Fuck no. And this is the reality for so many people, but this is the thing. If you have a game that is that good, none of that matters. You will find time to play the game. You will play until fucking 4 in the morning if you wanted to, if it's that good of a game, if you're having that good of a time. And to be completely honest, I used to have that back in high school. As soon as I graduated, I would play Call of Duty until like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, playing Search and Destroy, shit like that. Maybe it's me getting older, maybe it's just life happening, but I'd be lying if I told you there weren't other games that I wanted to try out or play, and other games that I have played until like 3 in the morning, and it's not Call of Duty, because Call of Duty doesn't captivate me in that way anymore. The truth is, I have significantly less time, and this game isn't hooking me enough to warrant me playing in the small little bits of time that I do have. And that is the truth for so many people. This is where my interest for Call of Duty really drops. This is when I start saying things like, I've lost faith in Call of Duty entirely. Because there was a time where even if I was busy, even if I had a lot of shit going on, good days, bad days, maybe I'm just extremely busy in general, I'd make time to play Call of Duty because I liked playing it. And nowadays, even on my free days, there's a few times where I'll just have nothing to do for the entire day, and I'll just go fill my day with a bunch of other shit. I'll go buy things, hang out with friends, go out to nice restaurants, visit nice places. I'm not thinking about playing Call of Duty. And this ties into what I was saying in the beginning of the video. My favorite thing about the last few years of Call of Duty has been ranked play, and that is something I would dedicate a lot of time into, but even that, it's not enough. And you can blame this on so many different things, guys. If you needed specific examples, look through my videos. You'll find every single answer to every single question you possibly have for me. There was a time where Call of Duty could royally fuck up, right, with supply drops in Advanced Warfare, but guess what? We stuck through it, a lot of people kept playing it, and to this day, that game is still regarded as one of the more fun Call of Duties for how different it was, and even though supply drops really brought that game down, people still had fun at the end of the day. People were still putting in hours, people were paying a lot of money. Nowadays, yeah, of course, there's still people who, maybe this is like their third COD ever. Of course they're putting in hours, that's just how the cycle goes. And yeah, they may be wasting all of their money on fucking nonsense in the game, but you're not gonna tell me that this is comparable to the experience that people had back in the day. Now there's a reason since MW 2019 that I've regarded this era of Call of Duty the Dark Ages of COD. And not to get too in-depth into it and get sidetracked, but this is where there's no prestiging, this is where there's seasonal content, and I'll talk about that in a second. Microtransactions that are the only interesting way of obtaining anything customizable in this game. The thickest, most disgusting, brutal SBMM that we've seen in years. And so many other issues where none of these things have been addressed. None of this stuff has been suppressed at all. None of it has been improved whatsoever. And so yeah, of course, after 4 or 5 years of that exact same shit, people get tired. The SCAD master himself, I get tired. I get paid to play Call of Duty. I make videos, I earn money off of it. I go buy myself a nice meal. I go take the family out to eat. I buy myself something nice. I pay the bills for the month. It's all good, but I'm not interested in this franchise at the moment. It's just in a very dull state, and a lot of that actually does have to do with seasonal content. That combined with the state of the game at launch and what they plan to do post-launch. Now, I've talked about this multiple times, but this game launched with 0 original maps. That is not okay. That should never, ever, ever, ever be repeated in any Call of Duty game, let alone any game in general. It's just not a sustainable thing to do, and you know, people like myself, I tried warning the community, I tried warning my viewers. Fuck, if any devs saw it, I'm warning the devs too, like, doing this, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Your game's gonna get boring, as every single Call of Duty does after like a month and a half, but if you have no original content for people to fall back on, that interest level just plummets even more. Guys, I couldn't tell you what the last like 5 roadmaps in Call of Duty have looked like. I couldn't tell you what the last few original maps that we got in MW 2019 Part 2 were. Now, I know for a fact there's a few good DLC maps, but they seriously do not compare to the DLC map packs that we had back in the day in terms of quality. Now, I understand the whole argument that now we get it for free, so somehow free equates to fun, but that's not always the case. And I will say, just to MW 2019 Part 3's credit, our only few original maps, Meat, Rio, and Greece, I actually kind of enjoy them a little bit. But that goes back to the entire theme of this game. Even the small bits and pieces of this game that I do enjoy, it's so heavily outweighed by things that I do not enjoy that it's really just invalid. Like, it doesn't count. It just gets canceled out because yes, the MW2 remastered maps, yeah, they're fun, they're great, but we didn't have the same background systemic bullshit that we do nowadays with disbanding lobbies and SBMM and all of these microtransactions run everything and ping is no longer king, save spaces, doors, all this other bullshit that's just so unnecessary for the original MW2 maps. It bleeds into these maps in this game and it just doesn't turn out as fun as people thought. And that's another thing, is that I told people as well, like, yeah, MW2 remastered maps, it's gonna be cool, but you're gonna get bored of it very, very quickly. Seasonal content and no prestiging, those two things simply do not work together in Call of Duty. I can guarantee you right now, if this game had no seasonal content and instead we just got free weapons occasionally, free events, free camos and challenges, and you let us have prestiging, you could have probably gotten away with having nothing but remastered maps for a little bit longer. But the fact that you let these really, really classic maps be weighed down by all of that background bullshit, it really takes away from people's enjoyment. Couple that with the fact that we have to wait months to get original content, like, no, people are going to be uninterested after a few weeks. And that is exactly what happened. You saw the numbers drop, you've seen so many articles about it, you've seen the ratings. This isn't just somebody talking to talk, even though that actually is what I do on this channel for fun because I actually like it. You can see it everywhere. Your favorite content creators, they're either uploading significantly less, or whatever they do upload, let's be straight up about it. Is it successful? No. Not to their standards at least. Like, my biggest video is like over 100,000 views. For me, that's fucking incredible. Anytime I have a video less than like 8,000 views, it doesn't discourage me or anything like that, but it just proves to me like, wow, like something is going on with the community, with the franchise. Like, this is not a YouTube thing, because we see this exact same pattern every single year, and it's been so prevalent since MW 2019, which brings me to my next point. This Modern Warfare era series that we've had since 2019, it needs to be scrapped. It needs to be chalked. You guys have let it run its course way longer than we wanted, okay? It's definitely overstayed its welcome. It is time to move to new shit. I know people really dislike it when I say this, but there's a reason why I call it MW 2019, 2019 Part 2, and 2019 Part 3. And if we're gonna be completely honest, Vanguard was like MW 2019 1.5 World War II Edition. All of these games, to me at least, feel the exact same. You run, your gun goes up because of tactical sprints. In some of these games, you can slide cancel. You can bunny hop right after the slide cancel. You can drop shot extremely quick. Time to kill, with the exception of this game, is extremely fast. And for the love of fucking God, man, the weapons are literally the exact same. I don't know how many times I've seen a SCAR H or TAC equivalent in like the last 3 years of COD, but it's absurd. We have so many different variants of the MP5, so many different variants of the AK-47 and 74U and the Bison, P90s, the same exact song and dance with the pistols. There's a fucking 3-round burst pistol, a full auto pistol, a revolver, and then a semi-auto pistol, a riot shield, the same exact RPGs, the exact same equipment, the exact same field upgrades. We have seen this entire thing so many times, experienced on different versions of the same map. How many times have we had shipment? Holy shit. Guys, it's the exact same experience, just watered down over and over and over again. And yes, you can argue that, hey, back in the day, well, COD 4 is the same as MW2, which is the same as MW3. Yeah, but those games are years apart, and at that time, those were original. When you bring back the series and you reboot it, that doesn't mean our previous experience of it just doesn't exist. No, it'll be cool for the first time, but do it 3 times and throw in a World War II edition of it. 4 out of the last 5 years have all been different copies of MW 2019. And people are tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. And you can say, oh, MW 2019 was so innovative. Oh, they did things differently, realism, this and that. It's cool, whatever, have your opinion of it. I personally think it's the downfall of Call of Duty multiplayer, in my opinion. But this last thing I need to say is really, really where I need people to start thinking about this. Because you might view my channel as just hatred, like I just hate to hate for views and shit. Guys, I'm gonna give you like my most honest thought about this current game right now. MW 2019 Part 3. I've said it before, in my opinion, it's probably the best game that we've had since Black Ops 4. But being better than the last 4 years of COD, it's not the flex that you think it is. It's not an accomplishment. Nothing should have to be gassed up for being better than those games. But if you really want to hear it, I don't even think this game is terrible. This game is not in the bottom 5 Call of Duties of all time for me. I don't even know if it's in the bottom 7. It could really be smack dab in the middle of all Call of Duties that I've ever played. And this is how I know that I've lost faith in Call of Duty, is that even for a game that I do not deem as terrible, I'm still having a terrible time even trying to be interested in playing the game. Once again, tying back into what I said in the beginning of the video, there's some things about this game that I genuinely, truthfully like, and it's simply not enough for me to want to play the game. I'll play the game every now and then. There's ranked play, you guys know I like it. That doesn't mean I'm having the most enjoyable time that I could possibly have playing it. And tying back to what I just said a couple minutes ago, this Modern Warfare series just needs to go. Like, we actually just need to try new shit. Do something else. And to the people that are gonna say, oh, if they try something different, you're just gonna start hating. Well, at this point, bro, you are like 1 for 5. That is not good. Like, yeah, people are gonna have opinions, we might not like it, but at least it's not the exact same shit that we already didn't like. To me, it's just gotten to the point where nothing is really satisfying. Nothing is enough anymore. And maybe if you're a developer, that might be the saddest thing to hear about your product. Not that you're even probably still employed. My fault. But that's literally the truth. Like, there's no reason to sugarcoat this game. There's no reason for me to put up, oh, 9 Moabs at the same time, back-to-back games, oh, 1 million KD, oh, best MCW class setup video. Like, no disrespect to the people who do that, but I just think it's fake. I just have the feeling that people are not genuinely enjoying this game. And while you can say that I'm just hating for views, I genuinely think there's people who praise for views. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, like I said, there are some things about this game that I enjoy. But not only can I not recommend it to people, even for myself, having not paid a single dime for this game, let's not forget that, I don't find this enjoyable. I'm not having a good time. I'm not interested. The small tidbits of moments that I'm having a good time, like in ranked play, making funny ass videos, it is so temporary that it is clearly outweighed by all of the nonsensical bullshit that surrounds Call of Duty right now. But that's finally gonna do it for me today, guys. I know it's been a long ass video, but I'm curious to know, have you lost faith in Call of Duty as a whole? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications if you enjoyed the video. It's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles.
This ain't in my body.